welcome to Guido's World of Casemates. Here we have the mighty Stug 3G. It's actually one of my favourites, though it is a little lacking in the vision department. What we have here is a tier 4-5 on Prokhorov currency encounter. What I find on this map is most people tend to go herring off down the 1-2 line, whereas really you need to be focusing a lot more on the hill. Luckily it does have just the one artillery, which is, that's at least something, and they're not particularly powerful high splash artillery, so probably not going to have a lot of trouble from those. But just to point out for a minute, I'm going to stop this. This really does highlight how tricky it is to put together this kind of material. So hats off to Guido for doing a fantastic job of packing this material together in a format that the rest of us can actually learn a little more about how to play this game. So anyway, without much further ado, let's follow Guido in his Stug. So the first thing we'll see is the Su-85, who likes this map, is probably going to go and camp up there, which in fact he does. And the Cavalier, who hated this map, probably doesn't know where he's going to go, so he's going to meander around. It actually looks like he might be going into the pocket. I think right away one of the things I'm concerned about is this whole cluster of tanks down here. I might even have been more inclined to head up there, not head down the hedgerow a little, but in fact much more towards where the Su-85 is, because one of the problems with this whole line is there's too many undulations going down this road here to give you very many clear shots, and wrecks also tend to pile up here. So actually he's actually in a pretty good position where he is right now. In fact, he should be going up a little bit further up to that bush and up the hill. You might also want to, you're going to notice in a minute that there is going to be a Stug that's going to be loaded there. It's not looking terrible, other than the fact that you've managed to get the T6, the other T6, drown itself, and the Panzer III-J got shot on the hill. Our other T6 seems to be AFK, which is not going to be any good. We've just been hit by a as yet unspotted T14, and the enemy T6 is down there somewhere, and that's going to be a problem. They're also heading into cap, but our M5 Stuart seems to be doing a sterling job, at least getting up there to do a block. This is a problem going down there, sort of advancing down here, although I understand you are trying to support the team, but you know that there's, other than the MX-40, there's going to be a T14 and a T6 down there. You're hoping that the Cavalier does in fact spot the T14. Unfortunately, you managed to bounce that one. What was I saying about using premium ammo? Probably wouldn't make any difference. I think he hit the wreck there, because there's a Valiant wreck between him and us. The Su-85 is putting some damage in there, so again, had you been up the hill a little more, you might have got a better shot around the side of the wreckage, and you might also have got some shots in on the AMX. But it's not dire. You've got Cavalier, the 14 TP is obviously doing some spotting, and this Su-85 needs to move up, which is a problem. I'd like to see you getting some cross shots here. Even if you've got a clear shot into the cap circle, but luckily they managed to take it out. I mean, it looks pretty close. There's only 5-6. So it's it's a reasonably close game at this moment. However, our heavy tank is totally outnumbered by the mediums on the hill, and they control the hill. Initially, I might even have been more inclined to take myself up the hill and support the, I think it was our M401 8. But anyway, the little TD was up there. It got taken out pretty early on too. This guy's a one-shot. The cavalry. I mean, I understand going back to base, but I might have been more inclined to actually do a push down there, down the run line, because most of their tanks have gone this way. I bet the Su-85 happily followed you down there, and as we see later, there was the only thing that's left down there now that the T6 medium has moved over here was that Stug. So that might have been a useful flanking manoeuvre to sort of take the pressure away from the hill and the cap circle. But say it's still fairly close. I understand you are trying to support the team here, so we've got a 14 TP one shot. So I don't know what he's doing. I say at this stage, I'm not sure I would have hung about here. I would go back. Su-85 is now being beset by the Stug. So had you been on that side, I bet you guys could have taken out the Stug, and then you would have been able to go down the 1-2 line and then flank around the back. So actually, that might have been a better way of putting some pressure on the back end. That's about the only thing I may have done a bit differently, other than going to the hill in the first place. But the fact that he had an AFK T6 for a big chunk of the game, and then your other T6 drowned themselves, you were kind of at an automatic disadvantage. So all things considered, you actually did pretty well to get as much damage as you did, and to still be alive actually at this stage. So you're keeping your gun in the game, as you say, keeping your vote. Doing some pretty good work here. So what I was saying about the artillery, it's not particularly good. I played this artillery, I couldn't get out of it fast enough. The only tier 4, tier 5 artillery I actually quite like is the German tier 4 short range thing. It's actually kind of cool because you can, and the tier 5, I think I like the Bishop, but these guys are pretty worthless as far as artillery is concerned, in my opinion.
Das muss wehtun.
I don't know, there's not much else I can add.
Wir sind bewegungsunfähig.
You're grossly outnumbered. You're now dead.
Wir sind erledigt. Raus hier.
So I'm not sure what our Panzer 3J was doing. The other Panzer 3J, the first one managed to get himself killed. But that's about my assessment of the game. So I think you did well, and well, just a little extra here. I think this is what I would call more better bush. This is probably where I would have suggested the Su-85 go, or you could have gone. It's not a bad location, and as you'll see, it gives you a pretty good, clear run down there, and you can back off pretty quickly. So I'm not really sure if the Su-85 could have got there a little earlier. This is one of my favourite spots if I'm going to be camping up the back on this side of the map. So in counter, I tend to go hill for most of it, just simply because that's where most of the action is. People really should not be on this side. You get a little bit of vision, but you do, more importantly, get vision down on the out on the hedgerow road. So anyway, that was just a little added bonus. Anyway, again, great job. Really appreciate the effort you put into making these videos. Thanks.